Are y'all happy? Are y'all happy I'm here? Are y'all happy? Chat, are you guys happy? You should be happy. Cause I'm live. I'm here. I'm right here, guys. I'm gonna go to the room where it happened. I wanted to test out the new machine, so that's why I'm Brusha. Let's just go back to... Also, I might have spent some, Robux. Okay, so it's Z and... Yeah, I might have a couple more things. Teehee. I might have done a little thingy. I did a little thing. Just a tiny little thing. It might have been 199 Robux. What'd you say? Is having 23k or normal? Dude, my friend literally has, like, 80,000. Wait. Oh, Speedy Shoes isn't gonna be my... Oh, that kind of sucks. My loadout's now gonna be Train Whistle and Dog Plush. Oh my gosh, I just realized that. That's sad. But yeah, streamed a little late today, as you might notice. I was doing my laundry at my Gma's house, and afterwards we dropped... Hold on, I'm gonna get a sip of drink, because I have not drinking all day. We were dropping my aunts off, at a football game. Or my aunt and her friend. One of my aunts was already there. And my Jima took me to Winco. And we ended up going shopping. She gave me $20 beforehand, like earlier today. And we went to Winco, and I was kind of like trying to stay in budget, but she was like putting some stuff in the car, so I was like, okay, that's what she's gonna get for the house. Still, you have... I have what? Vimo and... Heart... Huh? It probably is, because right here I've got the dial trinket and the dog plush. It probably is a glitch. Wait, that person needs a good distractor. Go, 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 go! Oh, they already have like 7 people. Damn it. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. Hehe. Are any of my other friends here? No, they're not. Sad times. Damn, this person's saying choose better trinkets. Bro's saying choose better trinkets. Who to be? Who to be? H-O-T-T-O-G-O. You can take me out to go. H-O-T-T-O-G-O. Oh, there's 2 run. How many... What are these people doing? Huh? Stamina. Let's see. ABC for Pro Run. The something is fishy run was... That shit was hilarious. Lonely, we can be so lonely. Also, I am at 230 followers. My current goal is 300. I think, like, about a month ago at least, I think I was at least at, like, 120. I've gained 10 followers. That's amazing. Now we need to bring back the metal pipe. We need to bring back metal pipe. There's only 5. There's only 6 of us. There's only 6 of us. Poppy has Vimo. She's good. Tisha, what you got? Okay. We got 7. 6, 7. We need 1 more. Is Flight joining? No, Flight's not joining. Flight's going. Flight's going away. Mo. 1 Mo. Moe. Maybe it's safe for a pro run. Flight needs a flutter. I'm just a psycho, babe. Come and go out my mind. I didn't lose it, babe. There wasn't much to find. I'm just a psycho, babe. Come and go out my... Alright. Why is Yada just standing in that elevator? Alright, let's go. What? I'm in. I'm in, but I'm not in? I was in, but I'm not? It's so strange. I got in. Also, I want to see what this looks like on PC. I want to see what this looks like on PC. Hell yeah. Oh my gosh, you can see everyone's trinkets up here. Well, that's one way to spend your ichor. Oh, that's so cool! Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that so much. These are all the tunes that I don't have. And then the trinkets. Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. I love that. And you can ready up too. I was begging for a flutter. I want flight mastery done. We do have a flutter. We have a flutter. So that means that I already have a bandage and a med kit. That's actually really good. I like how they have that now. I like how they have that now. Because Cosmo can have a med kit early on. And if we have a Bassie can just give her medkit over to Cosmo. Pebble? What the fuck are you doing? I will crash out. I will crash the mid-fuck out. Oh, Pebble! No, you ain't! No, you ain't! Hi, Astro. I'm gonna drop a heart. Thank you. Thank you. No, you ain't. Stay away. I am the host here. And there's immediately an ad break. I don't know why. I thought I had it disabled. Whee! I can get some speed. Oh shit, that was the last one. So apparently the new machine can only spawn floor 5 and up. Do we not? I don't think we have a sprout, so I can actually just lose them here. Just like that. Poppy, get your ass in. Yada, get your ass in. Why didn't they get in? Like immediately. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, what the hell, Dandy? What the hell? I think half of us already have one of those anyways. Oh, which one? Which one should I do? I literally didn't even have this one out. Lips and throats and petticoats. Flight, how many floors do you need? How many floors does flight need? Whee! Oi! Get your ass over here. I need to find Boxton. I already got Boxton, though. Oh, you motherfucker. No, I am the host here. No, you ain't. Yato, get the I pulled that awesome juke off. Who else is here? Yada's here. Hi, Yada. El Macaco! Okay, Pebble. Get the fuck away. Pebble, go do machines or something. Okay, they're lost, and so Yada can get in safely. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. Get the fuck away! Yada? Pebble, if I turn the corner too fast, you're gonna die. I hope you know that. I hope you know you're gonna die. So quiet. Is it me? Am I quiet? Do I need to turn my mic up? But you're gonna die, so don't cry to me? What the fuck do you mean? The fuck do you mean? The fuck do you mean? Fuck you mean we're gonna die? Like, I'm gonna die. The fuck do you mean I'm gonna die? Crazy confidence to say that, literally. The fuck you mean? I don't know where Toodles is going. Crazy to say that, Pebble. You've never just seen me distracted before. Hi, Lily. Where's the other twisted? I think Poppy just got hurt. Nope, it's Boston. What happened to Flight? What happened? when I cross the line. Did Flight try to grief you? Hello! Pebble said I was gonna die. Thank you! Hey! Oh. Yeah, Pebble said I was gonna die because I'm distracting. How about you let me distract Maine? That's literally what Pebble fucking said to me. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and lose them. Like, bro, have you seen me distract before? No, you have not. Whee! Ooh, I want stamina. Indy was teasing me. Whatever Suki told you, it's not true. It's not true. I'm innocent. I like how the treadmill is like exercise. Same. Now that gives more use to the stamina cards as well. Like especially for like stamina and getting dial. Get your ass over here. Static makes you run static criteria. It's slow, but I've been called a worse. No, I've heard it before. No, that isn't the first. Let me be the void you fill with taxidermy. I'm gonna grab these tapes because there is no sprout to take them. I wish I could be a... Why did Dial get... Or wait, no. Oh. I think you misspelled Dial there. I'm not gonna approve that. You're just gonna have to rewrite that. You're gonna have to rewrite that. I know it's a misspelling, but I'm not... You're gonna have to rewrite that. But what they said is, I died to Dial when someone led him to me on accident as Astro. Yeah. Yada, what the hell are you doing? Danny, what you got? Oh, I want it! I want it, 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 but my inventory is full! Sure. They spawn past floor 5. Also, that gives use to extractor pebbles. Yay, 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 yay! Because there's nothing to find. Hi, Connie. Who else is here? I know it's Connie. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Fuck me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just run to the elevator. I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not gonna risk it. I'm not gonna risk it. I'm feeling merciful. Huh? Wags finger aggressively. I've got 3 meds. I'm gonna eat you. Stop. I'm feeling merciful. I'm not gonna say anything freaky. What? I don't think what the fuck? Bro. Hey, I managed to get past that without, getting my items stolen. I didn't get mugged this time. Hi, Poppy. I'm gonna juke you right there, and I'm gonna go over here. I'll go in this area right here, because that's, I feel like that's the best, the best area to distract in. Yum, yum, yum. Because nobody else really needs the tapes. Because they can already use tapes. Oh, step right up. The pebble might grieve, not gonna lie. The one that said you were gonna die. I don't know. I don't know. I think he was trying to just, like, if I let him take over and he starts griefing, I'm gonna actually, like, take back over and be like, you cannot. Like, you cannot distract. But I'm literally the host, and so I'm always, like, I'm usually the distractor, and since I'm hosting, like, I'm like, this is my run. I get to distract. This is my run. This ain't your run. This is my run. I think since we have 8 people still, I believe, I think we're gonna get a 3rd one next floor. Sodom and Gomorrah, let it flow down the sink. Last call for morals, better cover your drink. Sodom and Gomorrah mess. Thank you. Good times on Front Street. What you got? Nothing useful for me because I still have a med and 2 bands. So I'm gonna die, huh? Don't y'all have the fear of spending money? What do you mean? Like a deadly fear of spending money at all? What kind of money are you talking about? I need to find Shelly. Oh shit. Flight. Flight. Give her. You. You bitch! You dumbass. Give her back. Give her back. Thank you. Bro failed a skill check. You saved up like 60 bucks or more and never spent it because you were deadly afraid. I don't know what you're... So that's both a good and bad trait to have, honestly, because in my... This is just opinion. This isn't like 100% like psychology or anything. In my opinion, being afraid to spend money lets you save more. But at the same time, you'd be scared to spend it on groceries. This is a pro run, so I don't have to take Shelly to the LE. So I'm just gonna run. Thank you! I don't know where the fuck Pebble is. Oh, he just wanted to distract so badly. Oh. That's your fear. You need to see if it's a actual phobia. So... How many people are still here? 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's still 8. I've not let a person die in my eyes. Or, like, on my hands. Also, the runs last a little bit longer because we all have, like, we can all buy medkits and whatnot. From Defoe. Goober. But you're a good distractor. Maybe you should distract. God damn it. Goober! Okay, well. Shoot. Oi. Oi. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Shit! I messed up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shit! Can I have a can I have some stamina? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fuck! Yada mess me up, yada mess me up, yada mess me up. Why was she standing over there? At least I can get an air horn. Messing me up, Yada. You were messing me up. Oh, it's Shelly again. I'm surprised it isn't a Shelly day. Who did I see? It's Louie. Get the fuck over here, Louie. Okay. There's some bed over here. Where did Boxton go? How did I lose Boxton? Okay, I'm gonna loop back so that they're closer. Thank you, Ko-Fi bot. Which one is it? There it is. Dance, 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 so dance till you're dead. Da, 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 da. You missed this song? The Stuff His Way song? Yeah, honestly, it was part of my, like, high school years, whenever I was in high school. Dude, what the fuck are you doing? Y'all just need to get to the elevator. Where the fuck is Pebble? Pebble died before me. He wasn't even distracting. Why didn't he grab the med kit? He needed heal. He needed a heal. Why didn't he grab the med kit? There's Brusha. There's Louie. Come on, Louie. Who's dying? There's a box of chocolates. Hi, Finn. I think the Yada dropped that, actually. Okay. Bro, why did one of my friends almost get hit by a car? What the hell? Typo on the symbol? Oh, wait. How come flights that wasn't from the Easter update because it was stupid have more common sense? I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue. Yeah, the Pebble just wanted to distract, and yeah. Yada also kind of was being a fucking dumbass because I don't know for why. Like, for why? For why? She was trying to get Goob off of me. And she was messing me up, which caused me to get hit. Like, I think she got me hit twice. There's also a stealth candy around me. The Yada should probably grab it since she has the same stealth as me. Unless if she has... Oh, you can't see each other's... oh, fuck. You can't see the other people's trinkets. Because there's a stealth candy right there. I think Yada should start taking the stealth candies. Thank you. Judge me before my cover shows, author becomes beyond reproach. Why did Quill... I don't know. You can see him at the very beginning. Go, Toodles, go. Go, Toodles, go. Go, Toodles, go. Go, Toodles, go. I'm... What the fuck? Come on. Come on, Toodles. Let's see. What does Dandy have? Nothing good for me. I don't know why Quell took away the see the trinkets thing. Because now I can't dog on people for what trinkets they have, and I can't see what trinkets people have anymore. Because all I see is just their health. I don't see what trinkets they have. Because what if the Yada has the... I think it's either scrapbook or diary. What if Yada has one of those? Like, if Yada had one of those, then yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be actually awesome. Okay, Louie, Yada, and Brusha. Brusha has such good sight. Oh, Shrimpo's here too. Let me just grab him real quick before he goes immediately to the first two he sees. Honestly, I think Brusha and Shrimpo... you can see it. There's something in the it's in the settings now? Are you kidding me? Eyes fade and life passes by. You got pizza? Can I have a slice? Well, actually, I ate a lot. I ate a lot today. I ate more than I'm used to, and it's kind of weird because I'm used to having either like the chow mein noodles or the or a like Lunchable for like the entire day. But my aunt, like, my Gmo got me Burger King earlier this morning, and then my aunt made me some ramen, and I was like, I am full. I cannot eat all of this ramen. And I was gonna take it home, but I forgot to grab it, because I was gonna take it to work tomorrow. Because I work night shift, and night shift absolutely sucks ass. If you're on last, everybody get to the fucking elevator. I will spam it. I will spam it. Get to the elevator. Chet, get to the elevator. I will chase you, Yada. I will chase you, give you some motivation. Giving you some motivation. Okay. Poppy looks British. Yeah. Fuck, I can't say Twitch anymore. I gotta promote myself. Shelly again. Is Shelly on the board at this time? Oh, fuck. Okay. I'm dropping a heart. I gotta drop a heart. I gotta drop a heart. Pebble, what the fuck? Hi, Shelly. Was not expecting that. Thank you. Just hurry into those machines. One day I'll look up at the ceiling above. I think I just got another twisted on me. Was there 5 twisteds on me? I do not know. Thank you. One day you're gonna do that. So read your horoscopes, your palms and tarot cards. But either way, your destination won't get too far. It's 3 a.m. for you? Holy cow. Thank you. Okay. Get to the elevator. Because I will lose him. Ooh! You wanna know something? My English teacher doesn't like swearing in our stories, and I swear a lot, so then I wrote down this story, accidentally said hell in the story, and got into trouble. Let's see if there's a band-aid. There's not, so I'm gonna use the health pack. It's me, the world you know. Yeah, especially in schoolwork, cussing is not recommended. I should probably... I'm just gonna gather them first. It's Roger. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I thought there was... Oop, Yada! Holy fuck, how did she do that? I'm trying to find the other Twisted. It's Toodles?! Ugh. No, it's Connie. What do you mean, Toodles? Tish is here. Toodles isn't here. Oh. Well, Toodles just opened up Roger. Wait, I can be Blot for dancing in the puddles? Oh my gosh. Hey, Blot did come in... She took a box of chocolates. Damn. Damn. Is she gonna be one of those stereotypical Toodles. Oh, there's a... Oh, Toodles is doing a machine right there. Hello. Goodbye. Is last closest? You got 3 ads? Hell yeah, give me money. Go, 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 go. Oh, hey, V. Where's she? I got Louie. Where's V? There's Poppy and V. Hi, Brusha. Woo! Okay. Hi, what's up? Freedom! At last! Thank you for giving me money through there. There's an air horn. Oh, where is it? Is it where you are? Is it right there where you are? If it is, I'm just gonna go right over there real quick. I'm on my way. Hell yeah. Thank you for keeping up with my air horn addiction. Like, my air horn addiction. Thank you for keeping up with my air horn addiction. I love air horns so much. Okay, I'm gonna do the machines in... I'm not gonna do the machines in here. I'm gonna distract in here. Coffee cup, one way to shake me up. I never wanted to sleep up Is Quack not quacking? I never wanted to spend so hours of time. Why did Quack not play? I looked over and it says played Quack. Where the fuck is Quack? Is it not working again? I was wondering why you heard it. Oh, you heard it, but I can't? I can't hear my own audio anymore? I can't hear my audio? Whee! Oh my gosh, that's a... What the fuck? What the fuck? I ran into it. I ran into it. Hey, oh shit, Yada. Oh shit, Yada. I can't hear the thing. Why can't I hear my thing? Sound alerts. Refresh? I can't interact with it. Properties? Sound alerts. Properties. No. Advanced audio properties? Fuck, it's Pebble again. I can't do this. Oh, it's this map. Of course it's this. Of course it's this map. And it's Scraps. It's Scraps. It's fucking Scraps. Of course, because why not? Of course, because why not? I have to lose. I just killed myself. distracting both of them at the same time. I'm sorry. I might be pro, but I'm not that pro. I might be pro, but I'm not that pro. I might be pro, but I am not that pro. I might be pro, but I am not that pro. I'm not both Pebble and Scraps pro. You can join the next run when you're done eating. Okay, well, while we're... Oh, yeah, it's both Pebble and Scraps. I ain't distracting them two. I am not distracting those two. It's so weird. He has wings, but he chooses not to... What the fuck? Why he run like that? Scraps is behind him. Why does he run like that? Why does he run so fast on that machine? What the hell? Yeah, I might be pro. But I'm not that pro. Okay, let me see what is going on. How much research you got on Dial? I wonder. Advanced audio properties. Sound alerts. It says monitor and output. It says monitor and output. Why isn't it outputting though? Or why isn't it monitoring? Let me just quickly... Is it because it's peaking? It's just Flight and Poppy and Poppy's AFK. 69. The most heartbreaking, heart-snatching floor. Is it because it's peaking my thing? Do I need to quiet it a little bit? No, that's not the problem. That's not the problem. I don't know what's going on. That's regular alerts. Sound alerts. I'm gonna refresh it. Yeah, everybody's fucking dead. There's so many twisteds. Yeah, probably because I didn't let anybody die. The only person that died was Pebble because he did not get to the, other, you know, the other elevator. Like, he didn't get to the elevator in time. The red moon. The sun sets soon. Your stomach hurts now? Aw. Is it because of the... Is it because of the, whatchamacallit? Let me see if this'll do it. Oh my gosh, I can hear it. Can y'all hear it? Hold up. Let me see. Come on. I can hear it. Fuck! How do I fix this? It was working earlier. It was They made Pebble's footsteps louder. Yeah. They did. Poppy's still alive. I can't hear it. Y'all can hear it, but I can't hear it. What the fuck? I have it to monitor and output. You always think Buster should have the softest, yeah. Does that fix it? Do you fix it? I'm trying to fix my audio real quick. Hold up.
Bruh.
I can't hear it. I cannot hear this. What do I just monitor only? Y'all can't hear it though. Well, I can't hear it anymore. I can't hear it either. Oh, there goes Poppy. Maybe. How do I do this? What do I do? What do we even do for this? I can't hear it, but y'all can hear it. What do I do? Refresh? What if I just refresh that? I still can't hear that. I can hear it on my phone, but I can't hear it on my, Hey, what the hell do I do? What do I do with this? How do I do this? Guys, I can't. Oh my gosh. Oh, there goes Poppy. Poppy's dead. Oh, there goes Poppy. Poppy's dead. I'm trying to figure out how to do this, and it's not working. This shit ain't working. I'm literally trying. I don't know what to do right now. You got this! Bro, you're the only one alive right now. You got this! Don't forget to join the Discord! And I'm just sitting here and my audio's broken. How do I fix this? I don't know how to fix this. Actually, how do I fix this? Well, there goes Flight. Flight's dead. Well, there goes Flight. Flight's dead. Oh, why is it vertical? Ew, 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 ew. Okay, I fixed it. How do I fix this? I want to fix this, but I cannot.
Bruh.
Dude, I can't hear anything. Y'all can hear my shit, but I can't hear my shit. Bro, what do I do? Because if I do this, then y'all can't hear it. Dude, his footsteps are so fucking loud. Why is he such a fucking big bag? Bro! You need to chill on the tunes, bro. You need to stop eating so many tunes. God damn. I can hear you from the other side of the fucking map. Oh, and then you're approaching me. Fuck you. What the fuck? They have... Huh? Okay. Okay, I heard it. Y'all didn't hear it. I heard it. Y'all didn't hear it. Bro died to box it on a pebble floor. Oh my gosh. Well, just know I can hear y'all's sound alert thingies, but y'all can't hear it. Y'all can't hear it at all. Man, can't wait to join. Jeez, I'm just floor 0 run? Floor 0 plus run? What do you mean? Huh? Damn, y'all all in. Y'all been waiting for me. Y'all been waiting for me. Oh my gosh, just go to the room where it happened. Damn. Where do I always wait? In the room where it happened. Okay, what setting is this in? On. I thought I had that on. I thought I had that on. /E wave. Oh. Man, can't wait to join. I'm gonna play these. I'm gonna get my I gotta get my 20-day streak going. I'm getting my 20-day streak going. You're gonna eat Barnaby? Well, I'm just gonna get my 20-day streak going. On my out of order game. I'm gonna get my 20-day streak. It's my 20-day streak. I gotta. What is bro doing? Wait your turn. Wait your turn. Wait your turn. Bro, wait your turn. Bro, are you good? Bro, hello? Dude, they were in line. Okay, guys, make a car. Make a car. I'm the driver. This is a weird-ass car. What kind of car is this? Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go. Just in the line. Single order, guys. Single file order, guys. This fucking weird-ass car. This is all weird. This is a weird looking car. Bro, you're trying to clip through the driver's side. We're just gonna go. Ah, yes, this is our weird car. It's the party bus. Guys, it's the party bus. We like to party. We like to party. We like to party. We like to party. We like to. I wonder if anybody else is actually gonna join this. This is like a big game of Snake. We gotta get more people. What the hell did Louis just do? We like to party. 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 I want to see if anybody else is gonna join this. We like to party. We like to party. Hey guys. I don't know why I'm like monkey brain. It's like anything just brings me joy. Oh, I thought Brittany was gonna join the conga line for a second. Oh, Brittany did join the no, she didn't. She left. Thank you, GoFi Bot. Is Louis gonna join us? Is Louis gonna join? No, he's not. Oh, he's looking. He's looking. This is a weird-ass conga line. Come on, Louis. Are you gonna join? Is he gonna join? Come on, Louis. Come on. Yeah, yes! We have a conga line! Yes! Bobby's joining! This is... I take joy from this. I take so much joy from this. I take so much joy from this. This road's just attacking the bell. Okay, next bell we see, we just gotta violently kick it and then go back into line. So this one right here. Just violently kick the bell. And then just go back into line like nothing happened. Oh, Gigi joined! Kick it, kick it, kick it, kick it. Kick it. And then going back to line. This brings me so much joy. Pebble joined! Where is bro going? Exit no! We're going to leave. I think Louie's cutting. There's how many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think. This is enough for a run. We gotta kick the bell. Kick the bell. Kick the bell. And then just go in the line like nothing happened. Single file line, guys. Single file. Connie's joined us. I am finding so much joy in this. I am finding so much joy in this. There's 3, 6, 9. There's 10 people in here. Okay, let's go to the main part of the lobby. Just single file line, try to get as many people as we can. Just go through the Shellys. We gotta go in between the Shellys. It's the Toon Parade. They're saying, what the fuck? And then let's turn. Oh, hey guys. We gotta go back through the Shellys. we gotta approach the Shellys again. We gotta high five Russia too. That's more people joining us. I'm finding so much joy out of this. Listen to Grandpa. I'm finding so much joy out of this. Hell yeah, we're getting a whole entire conga line. It's the Toon conga line. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tunes in here. Y'all want to beat up the Shellys? Let's approach them and then beat them up. Beat them Shellys. Beat up the Shellys. Beat up the Shellys. And then go back to line like nothing happened. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? This is going on my TikTok, by the way. This is going on my TikTok. Just approach the Shellys again. The Shellys are laughing their asses off too. It's a Toon conga line. It's a Toon conga line. It's a Toon conga line. Just approach. Just approach the Shellys again. It's getting there's more and more people. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I love this. I love this so much. people are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm 11 now. There's 11 people now. There's 4 people coming. Let's go through the tree. Let's just like wrap around the tree. We're just gonna keep going. She's just like, what the fuck's going on here? What kind of cold are they in? Let's just approach cold. Like, let's just get back in line like nothing happened. Approach the Shelleys again. Oh god, no. This is gonna be the biggest Dandy's World tune line I've ever seen. Memo, why are you trying to get in the front? we just gotta keep doing this. It's 4 a.m. for you? I don't care, get back in the line. Should we join? Yes. There's gonna be so many people. Biggest tune line ever. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 now. This is what Dandy's World has become, guys. We've become... No, you don't get to be at the front. We gotta join. We gotta join. We gotta get them to join. Just approaching Glisten. Coming. We gotta approach the Shelly over here, guys. Just all of us approaching the Shelly. Beat her up, beat her up. Beat her up. Beat her up. Okay, back in line, back in line. Back in line after beating someone up. Beat him up, beat him up, beat him up. Oh my god. Back to line like normal. This is how you do crowd control, guys. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. Hey Siri. Play We Like to Party. What do you mean? Hey Siri. Play We Like to Party. Hey Siri. Open Spotify. The one and only Glisten. We're just... This is our life now. Should we beat up another bell? You know what? We're beating up another bell. We're beating up another bell. There we go. We like to party. 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 Circle around Bessie. Oh, we can't circle around Bass anymore. We're gonna approach the Shelleys again. They're gonna be like, oh god, they're coming! Out of the way. Shut the fuck up. now, hey now, hear what I say now, we'll be there for you. Gus is coming and everybody's jumping. New York to San Francisco in intercity disco. The wheels of steel are turning and traffic lights are burning. So if you like to party, come on and move your body. Like to party. We like to party. We like to party. We like to party. We know, hey now, hey what I say now. Happiness is just around the corner. Sherpa's joining too. Sherpa's joining too. And everybody's jumping. Such a fisco, the intercity disco. How many are there now? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We lost some people! The Vegas bus is coming and everybody's jumping. Let's go to the tree again. Let's circle around the tree. Just walk normally now. Just distract the tree. What if we make a faster version? Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. Just don't even, just keep walking. The thing we're not even gonna tap sprint anymore. We're just walking. The Venga bus is coming and everybody's jumping. New York to San Francisco, an intercity disco. The wheels of steel are turning and traffic lights are burning. To party, come on, move your body. The Venga bus is coming. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Bus is coming. What if we start running? What if we just start running? Just follow Sherpo. These are traffic lights. This is a running conga line, hell yeah. It's getting faster! It's getting faster! It's getting faster, guys! We're getting out of line! We're getting out of line! Guys, why did it split? Okay, we gotta go back. We gotta go back. We gotta get the other part. Where did other people go? Then just stop. We gotta attack the Shellys now. Car crash. Just walk like the first part. Come on, guys. We gotta get the others. We gotta get the others. We gotta get the others. Come on, guys. We like to party. We like to party. We like to party. Why is everybody just bunched up, guys? Guys, single file line. Single file line. The Venga bus is coming and everybody's jumping. From New York to San Francisco. Single file line! Yeah, single file line! Dude. Venga bus is coming and everybody's jumping. Everybody wants to be at front. I'm the leader of this, guys. This is not a single file line. Why are there so many Louis? Go through the Shelleys, go through the Shelleys. Approach Shrimpo. Why are there so many Louis in this? Okay, we're finally starting to spread out again. This is almost the full server. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 4. There's at least 15 people. What are we doing? Dude, Poppy, you are not in the front of line. Single file line, guys. Single file line. Guys, single file line. What happened to the single file line? Hello? Let's go through the Shelleys again. I made a conga line. I'm going to post this to TikTok. Just circle around the group of Sprouts and Cosmos. It's like we're in a mosh pit. Yes. We like to party. We like to party. Go back through the Shelleys. We like to party. We like to party. We like to party. We like to party. There's so many Louis. Everybody's starting to Louis now. Louis started this party train, guys. Louis started this pop. What does this become? What does this become? Why is everybody Louis now? Everybody's Louis now! It's the Louis party now! It all turned into Louis. Shelly! There's another Shelly stop! There's another Shelly stop! Hello, lady. Hello. Oh no, 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 no! 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 It's me! No! No! I'm the original party goer! Single... Single file line, Louise. Single file line. We have an imposter. The party bus is coming. It all turned to Louis. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. This is actually so funny. There's a Shelly run going on and all these Louis are just like... Oh my god. on, other Louis. You gotta come. You gotta join the party bus. You gotta join the party bus. You gotta join the party bus. Forever. We're gonna do it forever. Run! Run, my Louielings! Just every Louis distract around the tree. Stop and line up in front of this. Line up! Sideways line! I'm getting a photo for stream. Single file. This is why there should be 50-player runs. This is why there should be 50-player runs. Party time, party bus time again. Okay, streamers, or not streamers, chat. Get to the front with me, and we're going to run and get into a run when we get close to the shell-elevator. No, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet! Where are y'all going? Where are y'all going? Okay. Go, 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 go. Are y'all in? Is chat in? Is chat in? I think chat is in. Back up. Let's go. It's just gonna have all Louis up there. Is there gonna be, where's the yellow, where's the Louis? Let's see how far we all go. The bus is coming. I can't believe I started a whole entire Louis train. I cannot believe we started an entire Louis train. That was hilarious. I think we did it for like at least 20 minutes. Not 20 minutes, like 10 minutes. I'm laughing my ass off. Let's see if everybody stayed to being Louis. Thank you, Ko-Fi Bot. The bang bus is coming and everybody's jumping. New York to San Francisco. Oh my god! This is going to be absolute chaos. The bang. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Come on. I think I should have been vintage, Louis. I should have been vintage. I should have been the oldie. I should have been the old one. Who else is here? I already know it's Tisha. Connie's here. Okay. What if floor 5, like, we start doing the line again, just around the map, but, like, the last one has all the twisteds, and so... and so we just gotta run away from all of that. We like to party, we like to party. We like to party. It's all Clown Louis. Or no, it's a lot. There's 5 Clown Louis, 2 regulars, and 1 Christmas. Oh my gosh, I love this. I love this. This is my favorite. This is my favorite. There, you have the same trinkets. You and me have the same trinkets. We are the same. We are the same. AFK spot. AFK spot. Go. I forgot where it was. I think it's right here. Louis-lings, come. I'm streaming right now. I'm streaming right now. Which? Y'all are all joining. I started the Louis train. Let's not kill everybody. Let's not kill everybody. Can I have... Huh? There we go. We like to party. We like to party. The finger bus is coming and everybody's jumping. New York to San Francisco. Finger bus is coming and everybody's jumping. New York to San They're all just watching me. I'm gonna, oh my gosh, I took tapes. Hi guys. Bye guys. All I see is just all the Louis. Louis number 5. Come on. Come on. Get in. Louis links. There's 3 people not in stream. There are 3 people not in this. Thank you, Ko-Fi bot. Thank you, Ko-Fi bot. This is the best run. This is the best run we have ever had. We did an actual good run, and then we just do joke runs. Louis! There's another Louis! Guys, I have another Louis! I have another Louis-ling! I have another Louis-ling! We have another Louis with us, guys. We have another Louis-ling. We have another Louis. We have another- oh shit. Don't actually die. We have another Louis-ling. We have 9 Louis. We have 9 Louis. Oh my gosh. What if we just- I'm just gonna- oh shit, damn it. What are you doing? What are you doing? Guys, you guys have to point out that there's 9 Louis. There's actively 9 Louis in here. There is actively 9 Louis in here. Chat, point it out. Chat, y'all gotta point it out. There are 9 Louis in here. There are actively 9 Louis in here. 9 Louis. The bingo bus is coming. The bingo bus is coming. The bingo bus is coming. Do 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 do. Bingo bus is coming and everybody's jumping. New York to San Francisco. Some steel are turning. Oh man, 1 Louis got off. 8 Louis now. Oh gosh. I don't even have enough for that. Just circle. Start circling. We cannot escape. We cannot get out. Mama! We like to party. Let's exit the elevator. Like, we're gonna... Let's exit the elevator like this. What are you doing? Okay, let's try not to actually die. Okay, fine, I guess I gotta take over. Where's the other one? Where's the other one? I know it's Poppy. I already know it's Poppy. Who else is here? Sorry, wanted to lose a heart. I know it's Poppy. Oh, it's Boxton. Hi, Boxton. Oh shit, I didn't do that right. Okay. You, run. Thank you. The bang bus is coming and everything. All I see are Louis. That is all I see. Every corner I turn, Louis. Everywhere I speak, or everywhere I go, I'll be there. There's all the Louis. Oh my god, they're lining up. We're the Louis-lings. Please feed us. Did one of them leave? Did one of them leave? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A Louis-ling left. We will forever hold him in our hearts. I don't know what your name was. I don't know what I don't know what their name was, but we will forever. I think it was Noob. It was Noob. It was Noob. Noob left. There's only 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only 7 of us. Will be missed in my heart. Noob will be missed. I think his name was Noob. I forgot. He will forever be missed. He was one of the normal Louis. He was one of the poor Louis. Shelly! Oh, guys, try not to actually die. We like to party. We like to party. Get to work, y'all. It's kind of hard whenever people, like, everybody's fucking dying. The bingo bus is coming, the bingo bus is coming, the bingo bus is coming. Can y'all, like... Oh, who all was at 1? How many Louis are at 1? You're at 2. How many Louis are at 1? This is concerning. How many Louis are at 1? Come on, guys. Y'all aren't even the distractors. Y'all aren't the main distractor. I am. Louis, go. Louis, go. I gotta lose them. I gotta lose them. Y'all gotta hurry. You're at 2, you're at 3, you're at 3, you're at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so. Tandy spawned something good. Fuck you. Let's jump Dandy. Just jump him. Jump him. Jump him. Come on, guys. Jump him. I should probably not use my stamina for that. Jump him. Let's all be yellow and not tell top at you, Louis. Skittles didn't even join. Skittles didn't even join us. Skittles didn't even join us in jumping Dandy. Shake my head. Hi, Brusha. Hi, Roger. Let's not open this capsule right here. I will send them on you. I will send Brusha on you. Do not! Do not! Rah! Bark, bark, bark. Bark, bark. I will bark at you. Bark, bark. Bark, bark, bark. Bark, bark. Bark, bark. I will bark at you if you do that. There's a treadmill machine. Don't! There's a treadmill machine. The banger bus is coming. No! I will sick her on you. No, you're just unique, and unique is great. I gotta work out. Would have a Louis running. Oh my god, they're all just watching. I want to work out. Lose some weight. Oh my gosh. The banger bus is coming. Oh my gosh. Hey, can I work out too? Oh, you guys all ran away. Okay. Whee! The banger bus is coming and everybody's jumping. To San Francisco and intercity disco. Suppression. I love suppression. I love it. I love it. Suppression, my beloved. Love being back up. Hell yeah. I'm in a town of tears. A pond of tears is streaming down. They drip, 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 drip. I see Yada. It's our bestie. Oh god, can I have a... I don't know where to distract him here. I'm just gonna let you take... I'm just gonna let you take the other. Take Yada. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jump. Go. Go. Whee! It's 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do 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 city disco. Do 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 do. Bus is coming. We like to party. We really do like to party. Honk, honk, honk. We like to party. We like to party. Get to the alley. 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 Did I just see a murder? Oh, finally, Dandy. Let's all kiss Dandy. Mwah. 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 We love you, Dandy. We love you, Dandy. We love you. Mwah. 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 Aww. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Dandy. We totally we forgive you for selling us shit items that earlier. We have the same item play. It's because we keep on buying all the we buy all the damn medkits. Bus is coming and everybody's jumping. New York to San Francisco and intercity disco. Oh my gosh, we have 8 Louis again. Louis came back. Normal Louis came back. He's just a little sick, but he's okay. He's a little sick. He's okay. We're gonna care for him. The only one with the red and the green. Or the only white one with the red and the green. Like to party. We like to party. Our brother that left came back. Hell yeah, we got... What are you doing? What are you doing? Excuse me, what was that for? Why did you take them? Why did you take them? What was that for? My bad, I was zoning out. Sorry. Is it because of all the Louis? Y'all, there's a shit ton of stealth candy around here. Y'all could definitely take that. Y'all can definitely start taking stealth candy. I lost him. I'm sorry. I lost our brother. I'm sorry about that. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. It's the party bus, but it's in train version. Let's start a train. Let's start a train again. Doot doot. Single file line, single file line, single file line. The bus is coming and everybody's coming. Disco and intercity disco. The bus is coming and everybody's jumping. New York to San Francisco. You're the only one that's doing this. Party, come on and move your body. I can't hear if Dial's getting angry or not, so just... Oh, hey, Poppy. Okay, fine, I'll just, you know... Okay, fine, I'll... Oh, hey, Dial, do you want to join our Venga bus? Louis, watch out. 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 Even though I was the one that got seen. Oopsies. Hey, Louis. I can't go near anybody. Oh, it's Shrimpo. Oh, shit. Oh, Is he angry? I don't know. I cannot hear him. I cannot hear him over the Venga bus. I have been listening to this for a long time. Hey now, what I say now? This is around the corner. Hey now, hear what I say now. The Venga bus is coming and everybody's jumping. New York to San Francisco, an intercity disco. The wheels of steel are turning. Disco. I should probably... Oh, someone's dead. Someone died. Which one died? Was it one of the clowns? Who died? Please don't be Skittles. I think Skittles is the only one that's not watching. Oh, one of the Louis. Oh, it wasn't Skittles. Someone did leave though. Corner, hey now, hear what I say now. The Venga bus is coming and everybody's jumping from New York to San Francisco in intercity disco. To party, come on and move your body. The Venga bus is coming. It's jumping New York to San Francisco in intercity disco. The wheels of steel are turning We like to party. We like to party. We like to party. We like to party. He is over here. He is on his way here. I think I am lagging. Uh-oh, that is not good. Is anybody over here? No. Okay. I forgot. Oh no, guys, I got the ill. The banger bus is coming. The banger bus is coming. The banger bus is coming and everybody's jumping to San Francisco and into city disco. Turning and turning. Move your body. This is we like to party. 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 Do you guys like to party? Chat, do y'all like to party? Chat, do y'all like to party? Cause I sure do. I think I can hear Dial getting closer to me though. I just get to the oh my god. Oh, hey Dial. Oh shit, hey Dial. Can you please not, like, go towards me like that? You know, that's not nice. That's not poggers. We like to party. We like to party. Hey, hi Louise. Hi Louise. Hi Louise. Get into the elevator. Wee. I got hurted. Woo! We all I just hear a whole bunch of... Or not. Yeah, we got 200 stamina. No, you can't go. You can't go. You can't go. You can't go. We can't lose another one. It was one of the clown Louis. We're outcasts now. What does this stream become? Party. We like to party. We like to party. Oh my gosh, one of our Louis! One of the Louis came back from the dead! Guys, there's 3. There are 3 Twisteds. One of the Louis came back from the dead. Yippee! The banger bus is coming and everybody's jumping. New York to San Francisco, then into city disco. I need to change this song. It's been playing for long. This entire run is so funny to me. I like how my streams have started becoming, first run is like a serious run, and then the second drools. Why are you drooling? The first run is like a serious run where we get to like past floor, like we got to like what, floor 15 I think. This run is just this. I really wonder what floor we're gonna get to. What floor is this Louis run going to get to? But hey, dial floor with only 1 person dead, that's actually pretty good. The banger bus is coming, the banger bus is coming. Do 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 do. You didn't even get research on Dial? Oh no. Oh wait, the panic mode is here. I did not hear that. I'm not gonna lie, I did not even hear that. I need to, like... Oh gosh, everybody's at, like, 2. Okay, we're going to finally change it back to our normal playlist, because I need to hear... There we go. go. Poppy. Hi, Poppy. Hi, Tisha. But you won't because everybody's cheering for the good girl. I need to find Cosmo. Where's Cosmo? Cosmo, Cosmo, where have you gone? Is he at the shrimp brick? I am gonna check. Please don't, are they taking turns? He is at the brick. I am gonna go there. I have Cosmo, I am distracting him. When the joke run gets good, even though it's all Louise. When the joke run is good, even though we are all Louise. I was expecting this to get to like floor 5. It did not get to floor 5. It's at floor 11 right now. This is a lesson on stealth, though. This is a lesson on stealth. Just imagine if I ever get popular enough for, like, Quell to, like, see this, and Quell just sees the Louis line. Louis line in the alley. 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 Ooh, actually. Take that. Louis line in the alley. Louis line in the alley. We're distracting, guys. Louis line in the alley. Come on, Louis line in the alley. Louis line in the alley. Come on, Skittles. Come on, Skittles. Hell yeah, Louis line in the alley. Go, go, go. Louis line, go. It's Pebble. Wish me luck. Pebble in a blackout, Pebble in a blackout, Pebble in a blackout. I don't know where Pebble went, Pebble in a blackout. I know where Pebble is, Pebble is, Pebble is. I know where Pebble is. Please don't take them. Oh gosh, you took them. Oh shit, you took them. Oh fuck, you took them. I'm gonna try something. I've never done this before, so just be careful. Never mind, I'm not gonna try this. I don't know where to move to. Because there's 2 machines over by the broken elevator where I was wanting to distract, but I don't know where to move to. I'm gonna move right here, so just be careful. I don't know how to jumble distract on this one. So can I get a backup to take another Louis? Or like take another... Or like take the others? Woo! Flutter! If this was V or Astro's map, I would be able to, but I don't know where. Because Flutter's still trying to chase after me. Guys. Whoa. Whoa, be careful. I've got a pebble on me. Whoa, be careful. out, watch out, watch out! I'm going. There we go. Ooh, more stamina. Yeah, Flutter was chasing after me the entire floor. Somehow I was managing to jungle Flutter for some reason. I don't know how or why. But I was. We got 210 stamina. I used all of my box's chocolates. I'm gonna drop a heart. Come on, Boxy Boo. Come on, Shrimp. I don't know if there's anybody else. There might be. I have Yada on me. I have Boxton on me already. I have Yada, Boxton, and Shrimpo. Oh, there's another. Oh, there's Tisha. Thank you. Oh, come on, Shrimpo. Shrimpo, you asshole. We gotta line up and then you gotta run. There we go. Hell yeah. This is how a run should look. This is how a run should look. It should be all Louis. Oh my god, they're lining up to do the treadmill. They're lining up to do the treadmill. They're lining up to do the treadmill. Look, I made people be friends. They're friends now. How do you feel about that? I'm gonna friend Skittles because this is hilarious. This is too hilarious not to do this. This is a fun joke run. And now that I have an actual chat to do it with, it makes it 100 times funnier. It makes it 100 times funnier. Because if it was just me, I would not have been able to do, like, the Louis line. Or just the regular, like, conga line with every single person in it. Or, like, with, like, almost a full server in it. And those two Shellys, we were just going through Shelly. And they were like, what the hell's going on here? Something's fishy. They were literally like, something is fishy. And then yesterday, we literally were like, it was a something is fishy run that actually got to like, what, floor 20 something? Hi guys! Whee! I think you need a heal. Indecisive, I think you need a heal. No! No! Don't go into the light! No! No! Don't go in the light! Yes! Oh my gosh, fine. Whew, whew. I think you need a heal. If Danny doesn't have a heal, let's jump him. Jump him, jump him, jump him, jump him, jump him. Why am I the only jumping? Jump him, jump him, jump him. We gotta jump him. It's just us just jumping him like, Danny, fuck you! We're gonna jump you! Okay, just go to the door like normal. Do y'all know how to do the Louis slide? Like where you just slide? I don't know how to... You gotta like, get out of the perfect angle. Oh, I can't do it anymore. Oh, Tisha, I gotta get you, and I gotta get Yata right here. And I gotta get Boxton, and I gotta get Shrimpo. Grabbed him. Oh, Boxy Boo. Get over here. Got him. Hell yeah. I'm gonna distract her on this box right here. This is the only one that doesn't really have any machines by it. Maydeth, come quickly and you still hear Pebble? That's terrifying. Please don't ever hear Pebble again. Y'all are having, like, Phantom Pebble. You know how, like, VR has, like, Phantom Sense? Y'all have Phantom Pebble. Something is fishy. Y'all saw me going for that and it was like, something is fishy. Something is fishy here. I think there's a this is a little suspicious. Honestly, one day I kind of want to do an Among Us stream. Like, have, like, you just got ill and you're trying to come towards me? Are you trying to get me ill? Are you trying to get me ill? You're already at 1 heart, you're on your last leg right now, and you're trying to get me ill? Oh, please let me go. You got me ill, bro. You got me ill. Ew. Oh, hey, you need a heal. Okay, fine. Well, most of us are at 2, but it's okay. You got me ill. I can't believe you got me ill. Get into the corner. Get into quarantine. We're yes, get into quarantine. Get into the corner. You are being quarantined. The other corner. This corner over here. Quarantining him. Stay in there. Hi, Louie. Hi, Cosmo. Wails loudly. Shut your bitch ass up. Bro got me ill and then decided to wail loudly. I gotta find Yada. Oh, you have them? I think you got hit. Oh, it's Rabies Child, of course. Okay, let's meet. I think we did a custody exchange. Woo, cutting it close there. I got Cosmo. We gotta line up and then you just gotta run. So we'll line up here and then you gotta run. There we go. Yippee! And that's how you do it. Proper custody exchange. Oh, Lexi's gonna... So Lexi doesn't play Roblox. At least I haven't seen them play Roblox on stream or anything. So whenever we... But I'm pretty sure Lexi has seen, like, me, playing a lot of like, doing a whole bunch of Dandy's World streams. And... Watch out, I have the Twisteds. I'm gonna go to my favorite, distract. There's machines in my favorite... Y'all need to get onto this. There are machines in my favorite distracting spot. I cannot believe y'all. I cannot believe y'all. I cannot believe y'all. How could you guys do this to me? How could you guys do this to me? This is my favorite distracting spot. And y'all left it for the last one? Why are y'all ill? Why are y'all all ill? I just looked over and I saw like a whole bunch of ill. Like, was that all of y'all or was that one of you? What are y'all doing? I could cause so much chaos if I just turn that corner too quickly. We're all just lined up. What are you doing? Yeah, after stream, if I'm gonna probably raid Lexi Dio. I don't know what Lexi's doing, but it's gonna be funny if we just throw rocks at her. Cause y'all are rocks. The dog changed their plans. What the dog doing? What do you mean, what the dog doing? What the dog doing? Rock. We are all rocks, and we are going to throw ourselves at, like... How are you at 1 heart, too? Why are my Louis dying? Don't do that. That's not poggers, guys. Hi, Tegan. Bring him over here. Let's not kill everybody, guys. Hold up. Move, 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 move. Go, 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 go. We summoned him by accident. Bring him over. Bring him over. I need to lose a heart. I need to make sure that I have everybody. Oh, wait, never mind. Apparently not. Oh shit, that's a horrible place for him to stop, actually. Watch out, watch out! This is the only place that I can think of. I'm so sorry if I accidentally get them on you. I panicked a lot. Panic, 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 panic. Someone else take the others, please. I'm so sorry. We lost a Louie Ling. I'm about to leave. After this run is done, we're going. We're raiding Lexidio. I'm going over here. I needed more stamina. Just hurry and do those last machines, please. I'm dead too. So, guys, good luck. I might be dead. Damn, I did 44 Twisteds? Skittles, you have to survive this. You have to survive this. Skittles, you may not be watching this, but you have to survive this. You have to. Bro was hitting the gritty. He was like hitting the gritty. Remember when that room used to be a maze where getting cornered was easy? Yes. I still hate it. It still sucks ass. It still absolutely sucks ass. Like, it actually sucks. There are no good jungle kiting areas. Like, maybe this area right here, but it still sucks. We lost like 2 people there. We lost 2 people. Finally, I'm on 2 hearts. Yeah, y'all kind of lost your main distractor, guys. Lol, yeah. But after this, after this run, I want to see how far this Louie run goes. No, you can't go. And it couldn't have been this floor. Oh, hey, Astro's in his room. Finally. There needs to be a... Nah, bro just started distracting. Oh, I love his... What is his attack like? I want to see what his attack's like. I really want to see his attack. I did not see that. Damn it. I like this. But why is he like... Why is he running like that, though? That's what I'm confused about. Also, Skittles is distracting. So, Tism King and Indecisive Person. You two are the chatters that have won. What did you win? I don't know. Y'all survived the longest. Good luck. Good job. I'm proud of y'all. Because Shelly's floor is horrible for distracting Pebble on. Skittles, you also won, but you ain't in chat. Wait, when did I miss a stream? Yesterday? Probably, because I was streaming yesterday. We did a pretty good run. I think we hit floor, like, what, 25, I think? We might have hit floor 25, I think. And then we did a Something is Fishy run, which was where we just spammed Something is Fishy sticker, because it was funny. This, we hit, I think, floor 15 or... I think we actually hit floor 17. We might have hit floor 17. I think. But then we... Bro said something is fishing. Something is fishy. But then, we did the Louis line, and then now we hit floor 17 again. Pebble and the Run Ender? What? Pebble the Run Ender? Yeah. Pebble the Run Ender. What are you... Is it because you're... you're... Astro's in his room. Yeah, he's in his room. Hi, Louis. You look weird without a nose. I'm not gonna lie. You also look weird in white. You look so fucking weird. Why do you look like that? Where is your nose? You need a nose. Louis just needs a nose in general. I think bro missed a skill check. Are you gonna miss another one? Are you gonna miss another one? Are you gonna miss it again? Nah. Bye-bye. We gotta wait till... We gotta wait to raid. Because I want to see how far this goes. I really want to see how far this goes. Oh, shit. Bro does not look happy about that. Come on, Skittles. Come on, Skittles. We're rooting on you. We're rooting and tooting on you. We're not tooting on you, though, but, you know, we're rooting on you. Everybody's at 2 hearts. What does Dandy have? Fuck you, Dandy. Jump him for me, please. Can y'all jump Dandy for me? The Obsidian. I was wondering, I was gonna try to help distract with you, so I was kind of wondering if you'd be my... Or, like, maybe be... Yeah! Hell yeah! Yeah! Jump him! Jump him! Hell yeah! Jump him! Hell yeah! Skittles carry us. Be the new Obsidian. Skittles, you gotta... Skittles, you gotta continue my legacy. Okay, why do I still hear Pebble? I think I have Phantom Pebble again. Not again, but I think I have Phantom Pebble. Wait, does Louis have a nose? The clown Louis has a nose. No, we gotta raid somebody after this run's over. Bro's running. What the fuck? He's gotta go fast. He's gotta go fast. Come on, come on. I'm fast as fuck, boy. I'm fast as fuck. I'm fast as fuck, boy. It is. It is. It's the new machine. I love it. It's so funny to me. I'm fast as fuck, boy. I'm fast as fuck, boy. How do you fail the skill check on that one? Oh, is he gonna do it? He's gonna do it. I'm fast as fuck, boy. Bro's just watching him. Bro took a tape. Oh my gosh, Chisholm King took a tape. Oh my gosh. We gotta report him for griefing because he took a tape in front of, Sprout. Because Sprout's totally here. Sprout's totally here. Did he take a stealth candy? Was that blue? Did you take a stealth? I'm watching you, bro. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. How do you like that? Funny fact, I don't have the Christmas or Easter Louis skins. Christmas I don't have because I was almost homeless. And Easter I don't have because I was working. Like, the entire update. I was working so much. And it was still whenever I was getting adjusted to the job. But I think I'm fully adjusted to that job now. Because I streamed yesterday. And I had work earlier in that day. But now I know whenever I have morning shift, I can stream at night. I only have 2 Easter tunes because I got burnt out during set of a truck. Driving in my car right after a beer. I think you failed a skill check. Those circles skill checks, man. They must be, truck. Wait a minute. Dude. Do 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 do. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. I don't know if y'all were Lemon Demon fans, like, ever, but I was. I still am. I need to put some. You don't like the circle ones? I do. I'm fine with them. I got used to, like, at first, like, the first day I wasn't used to it, but then, like, after that, like, I was completely used to it. I am excited for the Halloween update. I am very excited. Nine Brooks Brothers. I forgot to check on them. Why did you... Oh yeah, Ellie. Oh my god. Oh my god, bro just ran into a box. Bro ran into a box and died. Skittle. 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 Skittle, you gotta watch straight. No, Skittle left. He didn't even friend me. No. Damn it. Tavern and a black goat. Gigi's here, though. The thief is here. Goob's here. Or is that Brusha? Did I say Goob or Brusha? I don't know. Oh, I think it's Brusha. I saw the back of Goob's head and it was like Goob's here. Or back of new map. This is just the Sprout map. You've been on it like 4 times. Shrimpo's here. We don't gotta... Y'all don't have a distractor now. That's not good. Only you have, like, semi-distracting trinkets. No, she fucking stole from you! Oh my gosh. She yoinked your shit. She yoinked your shit. You gotta learn to distract now. She yoinked your shit again. There's a box of chocolates. You gotta wait till, like, panic to take those, though. Becomes radiation. Oh, she yoinked your shit again. She can't yoink any more shit from you. You got no shit. Shit? None. No, no, no. How did she take another item? What the hell? Tism King, you gotta step up to the podium. You gotta this isn't a good area. Oh shit, oh my god, he just juked them! Let's go! Tism King for the win. Tism King has juked successfully. I'm gonna be like one of those, what is it? The people who commentate on sports. Sports commentator. That's what I gotta be. He just successfully juked him and he's distracting the Twisteds. Let's go. What? Gotta riz them with the tism? Oh my gosh. Oh god. Oh. I was gonna be like, he just juked him again! Oh man. Oh man, he's at 1 heart now. Na, 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 na. Oh, Aaron, the best part about the update is before the there's a panic button, by the way, or like there's a panic button. The best part about this update that I think is the best is that you can buy band-aids, and you can buy a band-aid, a med kit, and a valve before the round starts. Tism King, you got this, you got this. There's only 3 more machines left to go indecisive. You can do these machines. You got this. You got this. Let's go back to Tism King. Yeah, you can buy them now. It doesn't cost tapes, it costs Ichor though. So it's finally something that Salem can actually use their Ichor for. They could just get into a whole bunch of runs, try to use 80,000. I think you have to use, what, how many runs? Because it's, 100 ichor for a med kit. Well, you can only buy one of each. So, like, a valve, a band-aid, and a med kit. Med kits are 100, so 80,000 divided by 100, he'd have to get into 800 rounds just to use all of the ichor. Unless if he uses, yeah, it's only 100 ichor. It's not tapes though, it's just ichor. And then I think band-aids are either 80 or 60. Tism King, you got this. Let's go back to indecisive. Bro's running. Bro's walking on the tread. Oh, he's running. He's running. He's running. He's walking. He's walking. He's walking. He's running! He is running on the treadmill. He's walking again. He's walking again. He's running! He is going on that tread. Oh. He is going. Oh, he's running. He's actually running. The treadmill is going the wrong way. The treadmill is going towards the machine and not away from the machine. That is probably not good for the user. This treadmill is going the wrong way. It looks like it is going that way. It is currently digging in your butt, twin. I'm just waiting for the what? Oh, hydrate? Oh my god, you should have done that earlier. I literally just drank all my fucking power. Well, I have a little bit left. I drank most of my Powerade just now. My Gma bought me groceries. And Tism King has done it. They have made it to floor 20. There is a smoke bomb right there. I feel like it's so... I love doing that voice. He is actively digging in my butt. Yep, that is right. You heard that right. He is actively digging in my butt, twin. I'm distracted now. You have to take the podium. You have to step up. You have to stand up. That is a weird angle that I just saw. Sid, make a poll for which one will die first. Gosh. How do you even make polls? I forgot. Manage poll? New poll? Who will die first? Tism King. Or... This is a funny angle of Louis, by the way. He's an egg. I'm gonna put it on for like 5 minutes. We're starting that poll. Who will die first? Tism King. Acting as the distractor. Or indecisive, who was at 1 heart for a lot of the round, but now got a band-aid apparently. And is at 2 now. Will Tism die? Or will regular die first? Only time will tell. You guys have about 5 minutes to vote. Honestly, I want to do the Congo line again. I really want to do the Congo line again. That would be hilarious. Bro is walking on the treadmill. He is now running on the treadmill. He is walking on the treadmill. He is running. He is just cruising along. He has Shrimpo, he has Tisha, he has Poppy, and he has Cosmo. He is doing well as a distractor. I'm just scared for whenever Maine comes because I've never seen him distract before. Shouldn't there be 5? There's only 2 people alive, by the way. Oh, wait, was that? No, that wasn't. There might be a Roger somewhere in the map, I do not know. It is currently a blackout, I cannot see a thing. Who does chat think will win? Chat thinks that Indecisive is going to win. They think that Tism King is going to die first. I thought floor 20 meant 5. It depends on the amount of people that are alive. You guys should vote. Who do you think will die first? It is either Tism King or Indecisive. Tism King is currently not jungle distracting. Oh wait, shit, there is 5! Turns out there was 5. The announcer made a mistake. There is also Brusha into the team. Bro has Brusha, Shrimpo, Cosmo, Poppy, and Tisha. Turns out Brusha had been loose on the map somewhere, and I don't know where she was, but she was there. Brusha was just chilling, I guess. Yeah. She was just chilling. She was just chilling somewhere. Somewhere over the rainbow. There is one more machine left. Will Tism die? Or will Indecisive somehow lose connection or something? I do not know. Or will Indecisive not find the last machine? I don't think Bro can find the last machine. That is concerning. Every time you start singing, it reminds me of... Shut the fuck up, Aaron. Can't find the flipping machine. That is correct, guys. Indecisive cannot find the machine. There's the machine right there. It was across from one of the other machines. Hey, it was the closest to the elevator, so yeah. Let's check on Tism again. Tism is currently distracting. I feel blind. That's literally how I am in blackouts. Panic mode is about to come. Panic mode is here. Bro has to run. Bro had a box of chocolates. Bro had a chocolate or a speed candy. What are the results? People think Tism King's gonna die first. We don't need panic coming. What? You're good. Thank you, Ko-Fi Bot. You guys have to thank Ko-Fi Bot too, chat. You're gonna die. Please. Please prove the voters wrong. Tisha is following Tism. Boxton is following Indecisive. Indecisive has managed to lose Boxton. Let's fucking go. Autocorrect meant to put a U. You don't need panic coming. Indecisive is working on the first machine. They are currently almost a quarter of the way done. I think they are a quarter of the way done. Yeah, they are a quarter of the way done. Who does Bro have? Bro has Brusha, Tisha, Poppy. There should be 2 more. I don't know where the other 2 are, but they are somewhere around the map. Somewhere hiding. Bro is running. It's Cosmo! Cosmo has joined the race. Tism is dead! Autism is dead! How do I, view results? Old Jack called it sadly. Autism is dead. Autism has died. Damn it. I was still rooting for him, but Boxton is here to end the runs, always. He's always here to end the runs. I probably should have done a prediction instead of a poll. I just realized that. I am sorry, guys. Autism couldn't survive America? Is that where... We'll just call... Okay, let's just start calling Boxton America. Because apparently Boxton is just American now. He's not... Boxton is America. Now, how long will Indecisive survive for? We'll have to see. Bro is at 1. This is going to be fun to see. Is Boxton going to end the run again? Boxton is the white boy. That's correct. You heard it, chat. Boxton is the white boy of the year. No more Xander Sauls being the white boy of the year. It is currently Boxton. we gotta watch until Indecisive dies. Fearful. Bro is fearing for his life. Bro has to do 6 more machines without dying. How do I... Oh, there we are. Let's see. Don't die yet. Don't die yet. I'm making a prediction for you. Okay, and we are going to do it for 5 minutes, or actually 2 minutes. Start prediction! Guys, cast your votes! Cast your votes! Who will they die to? Who will they die to? America, Brusha, Poppy, Cosmo, or Tisha? We'll have to see. I may die. You gotta go AFK? No! No! You gotta vote too. You gotta vote too. You gotta vote too. You just gotta go. Just vote whenever you're AFK, okay? Everybody needs to vote. You think? You think you're gonna die to Brescia? Currently, it looks like America is in the win. It looks like America might... Chat, you guys gotta vote. Who else is going to... What's up? America has won! It was America! Got him! There it is, guys. We saw it. Boxton is the run ender. Boxton is always no. America is always the run ender. Cosmo is in the room next. Boxton was in the run, like Boxton was the run ender. Oh my gosh. Hey, that no one. You spelt America wrong. Okay. Anyways, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. I loved. That was honestly a really good stream. I'm not gonna lie, that was a really good stream. But I think it is time for me to go and me to raid. I think Lexi is live. America won though. America won. Lexi is currently play. Oh, Lexi's current. Are you gonna stream tomorrow? No, I have night shift tomorrow, unfortunately. Sadly, I have night shift. I work from 1 to 9:30. Yeah, you died to America. You died to America. Boxon like walked in the room and he was like, "Ooh." Okay, let's go ahead and raid Lexi. They're currently doing art and yapping. So we're just gonna raid her. So, yeah. Anyways, let's start this raid. I hope y'all have a nice day, night, whatever time it is for you. This is a rock raid. You guys gotta throw yourselves at her. Or at them, I think. I think it's they, them. I think they go by they, them. I'm sorry for probably... I forgot. I'm sorry. But you guys gotta throw yourselves at Lexi Dio. That's what you gotta do. Okay? It's a rock raid. So you gotta do rock raid. And have a nice day, night, whatever time it is for you. Bye!